But I mean, I was, get TikTok
I am so lazy to take a meeting. Anybody else using the tool? We're gonna put some singers and some ladies I usually just.
that might be a quick one.
All right, let's go. All right, good evening, everyone. The time is now 7 p.m. We're going to call the meeting to order.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Trustee Sanchez.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Lightford. Here. Trustee Pepper. Trustee Brandon. Mayor Booker.
Here.
Quorum present.
All right, we're going to have our invocation tonight from Trustee Williams, and then we'll rise to the pledge of allegiance.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your loving kindness, your mercy, and your grace. Thank you for each and every person that's here today, God, each and every family that's represented here today. We ask, God, that you allow us to conduct this meeting with decorum, God. Allow your grace to smile on this meeting. Allow your grace to smile on the village of Maywood. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I need an approval for the minutes for the village board meeting of trustees for Tuesday, February 4th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Trustee Williams, second by Trustee Sanchez. Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Lightford.
Aye.
Trustee Pepper. Trustee Brandon. Mayor Booker.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, for oaths, reports, proclamations, and announcements, the condolences, the Village of Maywood extends condolences and prayers to the families in our community that have experienced a recent loss. Deacon John Belser, past longtime Maywood resident and father of Reverend John Belser, who is the pastor of First Baptist Church of Melrose Park. Minister Clarence Thompson, past, who is the supervisor of building and grounds for School District 89. He was a Proviso Township trustee and former president of the Proviso Township Democratic Organization. And please keep our employee of Public Works, Starquez Pullum, in your prayers as his mother, Deborah Ann Harris Pullum, passed away. Other announcements are Women's History Month. Every year, March is designated as Women's History Month by presidential proclamation. The theme for 2025 is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. This is set aside to honor women's contributions in American history and a time to reflect and learn about the many achievements of women in our community and beyond. As a reminder, please visit the Village of Maywood website, www.maywood-il.gov, to stay abreast of all of the current and upcoming events. All right. 8 for finance and management reports. Are there any questions? Or if you have any questions, Director Satchel is available for those questions.
Mayor.
Yes, sir. Trustee Jones.
Where's Director Satchel?
Director Satchel is with her family for something that they have going on tonight. Frank, other people. So our village manager is with his mother, who is in the hospital right now. And then the only reason I had to do the announcements for Director Banks is because there's something going on in our pages.
Okay. I didn't.
Thank you.
Well, what I would have wanted Ms. Banks to confirm, I'm sorry, not Ms. Banks, Director Satchel, was the pending conclusion of our fiscal year ending 2024 audit. I believe there's like a tentative date, we're coming up 30, 60 days, and so I just wanted to confirm that the timeline was still in it. But if she's not here, I mean, that was the last that I heard, and I think that's what we're standing by, so I just want the community to know that. That's it.
So our auditors are Baker Tilly. They're working on that audit. So as soon as they're done with the audit, she'll be able to present. Okay. Are there any questions in regards to anything that's under the village president's report? Hearing none. Public comment. For public comment, you have 3 minutes. You can provide your name. You do not have to provide your address. Please call the first name.
John Rice.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is John Rice, and I want to speak about what I feel and think about what's going on. I'm saying that we, the people of Maywood, shall reject any proposal that will destroy our community. Say no, no, and no. This blind referendum that was put before us, say no. Each of the players wanting to pass this takeover of our town, please do not vote, say no, please. Compare the names on the list of whom's ever on the roster as of now. You can't do business unless you pay. TIF will be a greater destruction, making the value of our properties less. It would make it easier to hire and fire. The manager would be fired, and there's no job for him. Our employees are hired and fired. Whomever that agrees can be fired any day, any time. Get rid of the village manager. Also destroying the park district for the past 2.5 years. Take a look and see how that played a part in where we are today.
I have 2 public comments that were emailed. One from Lucille Redman. This comment is political and also speaks on a form of government. The comment request will be available in the clerk's office for review as early as tomorrow. The second request is also from Peggy Alexander. It also is political and speaks on a form of government, and it also will be available as well. That is all public comments.
Mayor,
Thank you. Trustee Jones.
I know you made that statement, Attorney. Can you just kind of clarify in terms of public comments what comments are allowed and not allowed? I mean, and then who's determining whether they're political or not? Like, who's making that determination? I just want to make sure that we're not, because this is public comment, so I just want to make sure that we're not.
Understood. And the village has set the rules for public comment over in section 30.37, right? And it includes the nature of, it talks about the kinds of comments that can be included at the time. There's some rules about public comment, 3 minutes and the like. And for anyone who's here, they can address the board and make the comments. There is the rules allow for submitting the written comment for the board to consider, but there are some rules that have to do with the kind of the character and the content of the public comment that is sought. So if it's abusive language, if it's inappropriate language, if it's a personal attack, those are not permitted, and you would be able to shut it down. So that's what that means. Comments that have been submitted have to do specifically with opposition to the referendum on the form of government. Those are what the comments are, but they also include some inappropriate language that would not be proper to state it here in person, because the rules would not allow that, and therefore that is not being read or included. And therefore, what is going to happen is that because it has been submitted to the village, it will be available for inspection. So my recommendation to the deputy clerk and the clerk is to note that the comments were submitted, the individuals who submitted them, the general nature of the comment, i.e. in opposition to the referendum, and that the comments will be available for inspection.
Mayor.
Okay, so just to clarify, so in other words, you made this determination.
Based on the rules and how the rules of the board with respect to public comment, how they read, I applied to the nature of the comments and determined that it was appropriate for the general statement for the actual statement not to be there, but simply to be referenced in what would be appropriately said in the public setting.
Mayor,
And just for the record, I haven't.
Mayor.
Trustee Brandon.
Yeah, I find that totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. This is the first time since I've been on this board, and I've been on this board going on 10 years, that I see that we're now silencing people for speaking. And, you know, it's unacceptable. And I don't even know if that is your job to even do. So I am like highly concerned that you will come and say that, okay, this can be asked, or this is the first time I've ever seen this happen. Ever seen it happen. And tonight, you know, I don't know what the reasoning behind it. I don't even know what the comments were, but, you know, is there profanity in it? And like, I guess what my question was, who authorized you to say whether or not we can hear what those citizens have to say? They're taxpayers.
I was asked,
By who?
I was asked by the clerk. I was asked by the clerk.
So you was asked by Clerk Tori Guerin whether or not, or to screen questions that citizens, or questions or statements that citizens presented to her office. You was asked to screen questions.
I was asked to apply the board rules to.
So we spent village tax dollars on screening residents' questions, and
Trustee.
let me finish, because I have the floor. So we spent taxpayers' dollars on having the attorney to screen questions that came to the clerk's office. It appears to me that there's a misunderstanding of what people's roles are and what their responsibilities are. This is the first time, and I've been attending board meetings since 7th grade, that I've ever seen us spend taxpayers' dollars on screening questions and making, you know, I guess our own decisions on what can get heard and what cannot. It just gives me silencing, you know, the public. And it seems to me that it's totally out of order. Totally out of order. Even for the clerk to, because the clerk is supposed to just receive it, not determine whether or not it should be read or not. That is not even the clerk's role, nor is it your role to determine whether or not a question can be read at this board meeting. They're taxpayers. If they came here, they could have the ability to say whatever it is that they wrote or whatever it is that they sit there. There's no difference. There's no difference. So I would like to see the or what was submitted. If you're saying that there was profanity and things in it, I would like to see whatever was submitted. I want a copy of it, because this is setting a whole precedent of how we conduct the business, and it's out of order.
Clerk Karen.
Trustee, you made a statement and said, trustee said that we were over, and you said that residents were asking questions. When I received the email, trustee, there were a lot of statements, accusations, things that were so profound, disrespectful, rude, and almost inhumane that made me feel uncomfortable. So I sought some information to know if under our rules, policy, ordinance, and procedures, is there a way that I have to read something that was so foul? So I don't want you to think at any point in time that we're trying to silence anyone, because that is not my role. That is nothing that I would ever do to anyone. Anyone is available to come take a look at that, but the language was so disrespectful and rude that it totally made me uncomfortable. So I seek for guidance through our legal, and I hope that you understand that, and yes, a copy can be and will be available for you if you mind.
People come up here and say stuff that's out of line all the time. And so it just appears to me that we're now trying to, determine our own level of convenience, or when, we can say something or we can't say something. The role of the clerk was to receive the request, the statement, or whatever it is they sent in, and to read it before the public. Not to waste taxpayers' dollars, have this gentleman to review some letters, I definitely want a copy of it, and then make a determination of whether or not it should be read. That is not how this thing goes. That is not how this thing goes, and it appears that we don't know our roles.
All right, next on the agenda, village attorney reports, items 12. Does anybody have any questions for the village attorney reports?
I have a question.
Trustee Jones.
Well, it's for the manager, but the question would be for the budget coming up, is he going to ensure this Connor Heights project, capital project is included, just because, we have some grants tied to this project, so I wanted to get an update. I'll email the manager, but I'm hoping to get a project on that, or an update on that project, because a lot of people are asking about it, in terms of making some of the conversations that we had over the course of the past few months. So,
Yeah, interesting. I can definitely say, that once we approve the budget that starts May 1st, the work at Connor Heights should start in May. All right, trustee reports having none, I need an approval of the omnibus agenda.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by trustee Sanchez, second by trustee Lightfoot. Please read the agenda.
Letter A, motion to approve the monthly financial report in the amount of $1,327,088.51. Letter B, motion to approve the warrant list number 200559, dated February 28, 2025, in the amount of $1,309,226.09. Letter C, motion to approve the purchase of 2019 Ford Taurus vehicle for the use as a police squad from Asia Motors in Melrose Park, Illinois, at the cost of $17,795, plus payment of the police squad conversion cost of approximately $4,705 for an overall cost not to exceed $22,500. Letter D, motion to approve payment of an invoice for landscaping services performed by A1 Cutting Edge of Broadview, Illinois, in the amount of $7,350. Letter E, motion to waive competitive bidding and approve adjustment of rates of area towing for towing services and roadside assistance services, and to direct village staff and village attorney to prepare an addendum to the existing contract with area towing for future review and approval by the village board. Letter F, motion to reject all bids with respects to the 2025 19th Avenue private side lead water service replacement project, and direct village staff and village engineer to rebid the project. Letter G, motion to authorize the village attorney to file circuit court litigation against the owners of 1929 South 6th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois, to abate chronic public nuisance pursuant to section 150.036F of the Maywood Village Code. Letter H, an ordinance authorizing the creation and issuance of a Class N bar and grill liquor license to Corn Beef Factory, Maywood, LLC, doing business as Corn Beef Factory at 613 West Roosevelt Road, regular hours of operation. Letter I, an ordinance authorizing the creation and issuance of a Class N bar and grill liquor license to Just Like Mamas of Maywood Corporation, doing business as Just Like Mamas at 1200 South 17th Avenue, regular hours of operation. Letter J, an ordinance authorizing the approval of an application for a Tier 2 Village TIF Mansion Business Improvement Program grant for 2009 Hospitality Group LLC, doing business as Windy City Ribs and Whiskey, for building rehabilitation improvements at the 501 Madison Street property located within the Madison Street 5th Avenue Tax Increment Financing District, and for the appropriation expenditures of the Madison Street 5th Avenue Tax Increment Financing District funds in the amount not to exceed $25,000 to pay for the TIF eligible redevelopment costs related to the grant application. The applicant, 2009 Hospitality Group LLC, doing business as Windy City Ribs and Whiskey, Terry Lynn Evans. Letter K, resolution authorizing and approving the execution of.
Wait.
We're in the middle of this agenda.
execution of and the filing of an application by the Village of Maywood for a project to be funded under the Community Development Block Grant Program for the 2025 Community Development Grant Program year 2026 CDBG Roadway Improvements Project, 18th Avenue from Harrison Street to Winfield Scott Park.
All right, please call, we're in the middle of a motion.
There's a motion.
The motion that was seconded, the ordinance
Is there a
has
question?
been read. So, question, trustee.
Yes. As it relates to Terry Evans, is she a current Village of Maywood employee
So, for point of
or a
clarity,
contractor?
so trustee, she is a contractor for the Village of Maywood. We had a meeting with our legal team, sent over her description that falls under what she has done as a contractor. She's not paid out of a TIF. She does not do any work related to the TIF, and she's not involved with anything for the TIF. So no different than if a public works worker wanted to open up a restaurant and apply for some business improvement program, they would be more than certain allowed to do so. This has gone through legal, and it's perfectly fine. The only thing they asked for was her descriptions, what projects was she working on, and ensuring that she was in no way attached to the TIF.
So let me just say this, and this is where we rush things through, and just approve things. Don't do no due diligence. It just is a lack of care, a lack of concern. I am highly concerned about it as a trustee. I don't know about my colleagues, but we're talking about somebody who's currently getting paid or currently doing contractual work for the Village of Maywood. What should have happened is it should have been brought to our attention about what the legal ramifications, because it seems like it's a conflict of interest to me, and I'm going to put it on the table. And it appeared like it was similar to another situation with someone who was connected to the village and was in line to receive TIF money, and that's why we have to do our due diligence up here. We can't just be approving things blindly and just speeding through these agendas just to get things done. And so I want to hear from the attorney, what information do you have regarding this, in regarding this person's current role with the Village of Maywood and what we're doing tonight as it relates to the TIF funds this person is expected to receive.
So while the attorney is pulling whatever he's pulling up, I just want to be clear. So trustee, in the way that you're wording, what you're wording, any restaurant that we order food from should be ineligible from benefiting from a benefit from the Village of Maywood because they somehow are getting paid by the Village of Maywood. That's how you word it. That doesn't make sense. She's a contractor that has nothing to do with the TIF. She has no work assigned by the TIF. She's not paid out of by the TIF. The way you're wording it makes it seem like anybody who does business with the Village of Maywood is ineligible, and it's a conflict of interest.
She does business on a consistent basis with the Village of Maywood. And so you can word it how you want to word it, but at the end of the day, if we operating with a high ethical standard here in the Village of Maywood, which I hope we all are trying to do, she is she's like an employee.
She's not an employee, she's a contractor.
However you want to
Let's also be
I want to hear from the attorney when you guys are pushing these things through.
She also already owns 2 Windy City ribs, so it's not like this is something random.
But I'm talking about the situation right now. We're talking about someone who works for the Village of Maywood, whether they're an employee or contractual worker who's getting paid from the Village of Maywood. I want to know from the attorney who gets paid from the Village of Maywood his legal opinion on something that we're trying to push through this agenda this evening without having any deep conversation on it or without being informed on the legal part of this. So that's what I want to hear.
And I'm going to let the attorney.
Thank you.
But also
Appreciate it.
understand, we just did the same approval of $25,000 for Corned Beef Factory who dropped off sandwiches today.
Are they a contract? So you try.
I just want to be clear, like,
No,
you're saying, but
this is
Mayor-
not even the same
Mayor, I want to be
thing.
clear.
This
You're saying we're rushing.
This is not the same thing, sir.
Trustee, when
This
I
is
say-
totally different
When I say
from.
your narrative of rushing through,
No.
there has literally been no discussion of any business improvement program that we have pushed through of $25,000 the entire 4 years I've been mayor.
You are
Not
talking
one
about
question.
apples and oranges. Listen, I'm talking about this.
Attorney.
This young lady is getting paid by the village,
Attorney.
and I just brought up the name. I just brought up the name.
I just want to be clear
I have it
here.
on my notes that this person is like almost like an employee of the village.
But not an employee.
Y'all play the game if y'all want to play it.
The person is not an employee, so therefore they are free to conduct any business or pursue any kind of interest within the village. There's an ability for that individual to pursue any grants or anything that is business incentive, so long as they are an individual conducting business within the village, essentially with the village, so, and provided that the limits of whatever revenues they have are, under a certain amount, it's not going to be a conflict. The conflict might be, for instance, if you as a trustee were going to benefit from TIF money, right? That is a conflict that I think you're trying to relate to. An individual who's an employee doesn't necessarily have that same conflict because they don't make decisions having to do with the government. They don't make decisions having to do with policy.
What is her current job?
Restrictions, contractor, that's all I understand it is. I don't
What-
have any basic.
And that's the problem.
So trustee, I can give you, if you want to know the question. So what you're talking about is a contractor.
What does she do for the village?
If you allow, she's a special projects manager right now.
In the manager's office?
Right, she reports to the village manager.
That's the problem. That is the conflict.
Trustee, you asked me
That
what
is
she
the
do, if
conflict.
you would allow me to say what she does. All right?
I know what she do.
Okay.
I know what she do. And the conflict comes in because she's working out of the manager's
The
office.
village manager doesn't make the decision, he doesn't have a
Point of
vote.
order.
So, point of order, can you please call the roll?
So let me finish. So, Mayor, the conflict comes when she's working out of the village manager's office. And this goes with consistent behavior that we have seen from these folks up here in regards to awarding their few and their friends the village dollars. This is not the first example. This is not the first example. Point of
Thank
order.
thank you.
This is not the first
Trustee
example.
Williams.
So when this agenda came out Friday, and when I saw the name of this agenda, I had questions just like Trustee Brandon. But I did reach out to legal, and I was assured that there was no conflict of interest. I was assured that no one on this board had any involvement in it, any financial gain from it. Yeah, but when this came out, I mean, I had the same questions as Trustee Brandon, but I did consult legal as soon as it came, as soon as the agenda came out.
Thank you, trustee. Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Lightfoot. Trustee Peppers. Trustee Brandon.
No.
Mayor Booker.
Aye.
Motion carried.
No new business, no old business. Board trustee comments or information. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Sanchez, second by trustee Lightfoot. Please call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Sanchez.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Lightfoot. Trustee Peppers. Trustee Brandon.
Aye.
Mayor Booker.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Everyone have a good night.
30 minutes in a council meeting, and then whatever else you do, you're going to give us up a raise of $65,000.